Welcome to the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series, powered by Geico Power Sports. We start off the 2010 season here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We are surrounded by some of the biggest racetracks in the country. Of course, the Super Speedway, the Bull Ring is here, and the legendary drag strip. But now it's all about off-road racing. Ken Stout, Cameron Steele, ready to call all the action for you on a brand new purpose-built short course off-road racing track. It is awesome.
You gotta love it, and this has been the home to freestyle motocross, the Mint 400 track right outside here. But I'm so excited about what's going on.
The guys are having some fun all around us, as you might imagine. We'll also bring out the super buggies as well, and you're going to throw the dice there, baby.
I will, and I'm not looking to come up craps. I'm looking to come up Yahtzee, and I'll tell you what a stacked field we have inside our class. 22 cars will be taking the green. Of course, you got to take your hat off. There's so many great drivers in there. The champion Chuck Cheek is back. But my job, of course, is to whoop up on everybody else. So while I'm in the car, we'll get Brian Deegan to do some of the call. But it's such a great class. Not a lot of people understand the open wheel racing, but I would say it's one of the busiest race cars to be inside of on a short course track. 5-speed, turning brakes, and you have to steer the car and turn your brain off at the same time.
Well, that last part, that's probably pretty easy, huh?
Well, that's the best thing I do. Come on.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck there, my friend. Here in Las Vegas, Nevada, with the beautiful Rockstar Energy girls, and of course, the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series, powered by Geico Power Sports 2010 Rockstar Energy Drink season opener. And right now, it's time to bring you Pro Buggy. These things are wicked fast. I'd like to welcome to the booth legendary Brian Deegan, of course, coming out of the X Games, really making your name, but more importantly, winning a championship here in the Pro Light category just a year ago. You can certainly relate to what these guys are doing out here. You've been on this track today. Talk to me about this place.
Well, this track's brand new. It's a racer's track. It really does fit the buggies and the Pro Lights, which are really close in lap times, and I'm excited to see this race. There's a lot of turns, which means a lot of bumping and a lot of action.
All right, let's take a look at our KMC starting grid. Right there on the pole, the winningest driver in the history of Mickey Compton, Jerry Welchel in a Pro Buggy. Last year's champ, right beside him, Chuck Cheek. And then we take a look at the rest of this group because it is littered with the best of the best.
The field is stacked. I see one of my boys, Cameron Steele, looks like he's on row 4. So I always like to watch him drive. I know he's going to throw it down, so it's on.
On the outside of row 7, C.J. Greaves. That is the young son of Johnny Greaves. Really cut his teeth in motocross, much like his father, but came out inside of a Pro Buggy a year ago and did a great job at Crandon. Looked like he might win the race. All right, let's kick it down to Kelly Snyder.
The number 957 of Chuck Cheek is the reigning Pro Buggy champion and qualified 3rd coming into today. And when I spoke to him earlier, he said he's ready to do whatever it takes to hold on to this championship for 2010. And with new additions like Jerry Welchel out here on the track, that might be more difficult than he anticipated. Guys?
All right, here they come for the drop of the green flag, the start of the race. We'll see how Jerry Welchel does throughout this. Has spent a lot of time inside of a buggy, but has been more known for Pro 2 as of the past few years, and he checks it up, man. He snubs the car inside of turn number 1. That or something broke on the car because it doesn't look like he's restarting.
Yeah, they all jammed up on the inside there, and I know if you guys sit there and you're broke, they'll end up red flagging it, but it looked like everyone got going, so the race is on.
Great look there at Chuck Cheek. Nice onboard shot looking back up there at him. You'll watch some of that suspension go to work. Talk to me about turn 1 when they drop the green flag, man. It is always sketchy.
Turn 1's a super technical turn. It's a hairpin, so the goal is to stay inside, protect your line, but you can get swept on the outside also.
The 996 of Doug Fortin right there behind Chuck Cheek. Chuck Cheek with some good breathing room, but we'll find out if anybody has anything for him. The 994 of Cody Friedman back in there as well. Started on the inside of row 3 right beside Larry Jobe, who is Cameron Steele's teammate.
Looks like these guys are a tight battle right here going into the S turn, which you really want to set yourself up, coming in, pitching the car, throwing the weight around, setting up for the finish line turn.
On the 965 and the 936 of Jeff Elrod, Phil Bowman, both involved in a wreck here. You know, I think that also begs us to talk about these guys are open wheel versus your closed wheel style truck. You get together all with these wheels, man, typically damage or somebody's going for a ride.
I think there is a mutual respect in racing, being a racer. When it is open wheel, I'm sure these guys try to stay away from each other where we try to run into each other. And but in the end, you always have the guys going for it, and you're going to come together eventually.
And you know, you raced against these guys a year ago at the Challenge Cup race, and I think you guys did have a real good respect for what these guys had to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. I always watch this class because the lap times were so close to the pro lights. And they actually came out against us, and I think because of turning brakes, because of the ways they were able to cut these turns tighter, they had an advantage, and they beat us.
You know, even though they have less horsepower, it's about efficiency as we take a look at this battle for fourth between Rich Ronco. And of course, when you talk about efficiency, it's power to weight. That's what it always comes back to. And these guys, they don't have a whole lot of horsepower, but at 1,550 pounds, they are very efficient cars.
Absolutely, they're a wider car, which means they're going to turn better. And the turning brake, you can pull it, locks the wheel, helps them get turned and go straight with the power on.
Great overhead shot there. By the way, the ticker up above, courtesy of Rockstar Energy Drink. Keep an eye on your favorite drivers. And oh man, these guys are talented. And just as soon as I say that, the 944 of Joe Morgan gets in trouble, whips it back. He could have popped an axle right there when he smacked that wall.
That's the risk you take when you dive on the inside, and you can either slide out or catch, get up on two wheels and bicycle, or coming back after he spun out. You need to take your time, get back on the track. He got a little over anxious and hit the wall, which could have put him out of the race.
Cameron Steele right there in the 916, followed by C.J. Greaves, the very young C.J. Greaves. Cameron currently in 6th place. Take a look at that face mask.
Cameron's definitely getting some roost in the face right there. That's tough to be racing when you have mud over your lenses, and you want to get a tear off super quick, but you don't want to go through all your tear offs.
Yeah, and it's so easy to grab the entire stack and rip them all off at once.
Absolutely. That's a little trick I do as I cut the fingertips off my gloves so I can feel the tear off so I don't rip them all. So
there's a look at the Menzies back machine Cameron Steele's inside of. Steve Menzies, just a super individual, of course, father of the very talented and young Bryce Menzies.
Cameron was just in the car working it. Chuck Cheek looks like he's gapping second place a little bit.
Chuck Cheek, so talented, and he's a huge guy. You wonder how he fits inside of that thing.
He is a big guy for sure, and that's he definitely throws that car around though.
He slings it around great. I mean, it's awesome to see that a big guy can still be part of motorsports. Oh, Chuck Cheek break right there?
Well, it looks like Chuck Cheek is out, and Doug Fortin takes the lead.
Oh, Doug Fortin making it happen, and unfortunately, the defending champ is done. We're actually hearing over the radio now, it sounds like he lost fuel pressure. So, unfortunately for him, and you know, he put a brand new pump inside of that thing just before this weekend, so I'm very surprised.
That's a driver's worst fear, is to get out the opening parts of the race, your car breaks. It's just your worst fear, and you got to be prepared for stuff like that.
Doug Fortin and Cody Freeman, legendary name in off-road racing here in Southern Nevada. That is your General Tire Top 5. Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada with the Rockstar Energy Drink 2010 season opener. This is the Pro Buggy category. We are in the heat of the battle, and right now it looks like Cody Freeman has taken over the lead. Cody Freeman, of course, a big name here in the Las Vegas area, but he and his family have been racing and off-road for some 30 years.
Competition is tight here back in the field. These guys are definitely pitching it around and looking for an opening here. Definitely trying to carry their speed coming down these hills.
Everybody right on the bottom, and that's the one thing you can't see as we watch Freeman and Fortin go at it again. You really can't see the elevation changes here, and there's some pretty drastic ones.
Yeah, from this top view, it is kind of hard to see, but these guys are trying to carry their momentum out of these turns, and that's something you really want to do in these buggies.
Good battle there with Mike Halliday and Mike Porter. Halliday with the Green Army machine had a strong showing in the points and some good efforts throughout the 2009 season. And right now starting to put a little bit on Porter. We're actually hearing Rob Klepper has caught up with Chuck Cheek. Rob?
And guys, unfortunately, your 2009 Pro Buggy champ Chuck Cheek out of the race. Led out there early. What happened, man?
You know what? We've got a brand new fuel system, fuel pump, and it just must be one of those new part it just went away. We've got an indicator light that tells us if we have fuel pressure. We have none. It actually reads negative.
So with that light coming on, obviously it helps save an engine, though.
Yeah, no, it just went away all in like one corner right there in turn 3. The light came on and the car just went flat, and that was it. It was this where I was really looking forward to after the yellow, dicing with all the big guys.
That's Chuck Cheek, guys, again, the 2009 Pro Buggy champ, trying to start off 2K10 in style out of this first round number 1.
And the pumps that they use are very heavy duty. They're usually rock solid for pretty much an entire season, maybe even years. It makes you wonder if something electrical to the pump didn't go wrong. Maybe a wire broke or came off, something like that.
There's a lot of parts for sure. And one thing is you can run 2 fuel pumps, and if one goes out, you can flip the other one. That's something I'm going to start doing in my trucks.
Man, Doug Fortin just about kissed the wall there with that right front. By the way, Steve Serapis over there is the slow mover as they come around here for the mandatory caution. That'll re-rack the group. But also see Doug Fortin with a lot of left and right through those S's. You can straighten that out a little bit. He might shave a little time off. There is your General Tire top 5 after 7 of 13 laps. All right, here we go. We're ready for the restart in Pro Buggy from Las Vegas, Nevada with Rockstar Energy Drink 2010 season opener. They fan out 2, 3, 4 wide. Here we go.
This is the tensest moment of the race coming into the first turn. So many cars bunching up. It looks pretty clean right now.
A couple of those red cars, I believe those are Menzies cars, probably Steele and Job getting a good restart. Cody Freeman still out front. Fortin pulls up right beside him. Freeman with the preferred line there. If you can stay on the inside, it seems like it really works well, but Fortin carries a lot of momentum. I think Fortin might actually get the spot.
Set up to come down on the inside, and he did make the pass. And so that's the move you want to make, is coming down off the hill with speed.
Right there on the back bumper, the 994 of Cody Freeman hugs that K-rail. Cameron Steele sitting there in third. Your boy hanging on, man. A nice move there in the restart.
Well, there's Cameron. Looks like he's a little more clear vision this time, working it in the car. Definitely jamming. Third place, going for a podium spot.
And of course, Cameron also spent a lot of time in Mexico running the trophy truck, a lot of time still on a bike. You go motocross riding with him, I'm sure, but keeps himself in great shape. Consequently, he can deal with all the shrapnel coming through the windshield.
Definitely, yeah. Cameron does it all, and he's definitely one of the guys who helped me get into short course racing, so I definitely respect that and like to watch him race.
Taking a look at Cody Freeman now, trying to bump up a spot there on the podium. You know, but this style of racing and in this class, there's so many talented competitors that you're trying to pass the guy in front of you, but you really got to watch the guy behind you.
Definitely. The buggy class seems like a class where people have done it for many years, have it mastered, and they just are super fast. The leaders in this race have set the pace that's just so fast.
Halliday just sneaking by that K-rail, actually smacked it with the left rear as he got going one more time. These guys are all over the place. The suspension on these buggies, though, is awesome, so it works very, very well. J.C. Elrod, brand new car, and looks like he's done for the day.
Well, what they say, after the mandatory yellow is where the racing really starts, and this is where you lay it on the line. It's all or nothing at this point.
Your General Tire top 5 is as follows as they all shoot for the box. Fortin, Freeman, Steele, Ronco, and Steele's teammate, Larry Joe. Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series is brought to you by... Welcome back to Las Vegas, Nevada, surrounded by some of the coolest racetracks on the planet, but we are in the middle of one of the coolest racetracks on the planet, watching one of the best classes out here with this series. The professional buggies are going at it. That is your leader, and Fortin doing a great job. Doug Fortin inside of the racer's chassis.
Fortin looks to be pulling out a gap here on the last lap, and that's where you want to be as a racer, letting your spotter tell you got some room, and that way you can drive smooth and relaxed.
White flag flying, a little bit of money smoke out of the back of that one. We'll see if we can hang on. That is the $9.99 of Rich Ronco. A little steam out of that one would indicate something going on potentially with a head gasket.
He's got to hang on for a little bit longer on the last lap.
Driving it around there nicely, still looking like it has plenty of power, so we'll see if he can hold on to the position here in this final lap. Back up the hill, left-hander, and down the hill.
Dirt's really holding up good. This is the way you want to race. Dirt's tacky, sliding around just a little bit. It's perfect.
And you know, literally, I guarantee you, a week ago, this thing was just a partial track. These guys did so much so quickly to get this track ready to race on, and they did a spectacular job as we go on board with Steele.
Cameron looking in the rearview mirror, man. All right, look ahead, pedal to the metal. He's got a little pressure coming from behind him. See if he can hold him off.
Oh yeah, you can see the race pack dash up there, and sounded like he pegged that one, baby, up on the chip.
For sure, pedal to the metal.
So Doug Thornton comes by with a checkered flag and picks up the first win of the 2010 season. Cody Freeman right behind him, and your brother, our friend. How about that? Cameron Steele finishes out the box, baby.
That's where you want to be, is on the box, get those points.
Excellent job, and there's a look at Doug Thornton's car. That thing looking sweet, doing its job out here. So the Pro Buggy's putting on an excellent show here for all the fans in Las Vegas. Let's give you an E3 Spark Plugs race recap. It was Chuck Cheek right at the very beginning who got off to a great start, but unfortunately, the car would let him down.
Joe Morgan sliding it in, trying to hold it tight inside and make the pass.
Gets restarted, smacks the wall, and this is where Chuck Cheek would be forced to pull off the track. Fuel pump issues, fuel system issues, and then Doug Thornton takes over the lead here, but he's in a dogfight with Cody Freeman. It was all said and done. It would be Doug Thornton who would hang on for the win. And here's your Rockstar Energy drink results for the Pro Buggy category.
Congrats to Doug Thornton, but my boy Cameron Steele laying it down, third place, doing it for the Metal Militia.
And guys, Doug Thornton climbing out of the 996, and I tell you what, a pretty epic battle out there, but once you guys got out front, this thing was pretty quick, about 2 seconds a lap quicker than the rest of the field. Congratulations, Doug.
Yeah, when you get out in front, you need the clean track in front of you and no mud in your face and not worrying about pulling off tear-offs. You can concentrate on your lines and have fun. So, yeah, it was fun. We had some good racing up there in the first half of the race, and bobbled in turn 3 there, and Cody got by me, and it's good. That's good. He was right there, and it made it fun. I came back by and got him back and got it to the finish line. So got to thank BFG and Fox Shots and Fortin Transmissions. We got first and second. Cody Freeman's got one of our gearboxes in there, too. And Adam Wick's motor ran great, and he's got an Adam Wick motor. So we did pretty good. And 2 racer chassis. So same car, same tranny, same motor. So that's pretty good.
Good stuff right there. Great way to kick off a new decade as the 996. Doug Thornton takes home round number 1.
Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. That is a beautiful purpose-built track. This is the Rockstar Energy Drink Sin City Showdown, round number 2, powered by Geico Power Sports with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. Ken Stout, Cameron Steele will get help from Brian Deegan, Rob Klepper, and Kelly Snyder along the way. A packed house. The weather here, very chilly, very brisk, and the best of the business of the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series are out here and ready to go head-to-head with anybody. Great stuff here. We're about to bring out the Pro Buggies. I want to welcome to the booth Mr. Brian Deegan, who's done a great job, of course, the defending champion out of the Pro Lights, and we'll bring you in here to help me call this race here. Of course, your brother in the battle, if you will, Mr. Cameron Steele's out here, 916 right there in the Menzies car, doing a great job.
Looks like my boy Cameron Steele is on the front row outside, which is a great spot to be in, so we'll see what he can do with it.
Your KMC wheel starting grid has Rich Ronco on the pole next to Cameron Steele. Cody Freeman and Doug Thornton, who are battling for the win, just 1 round to go. Larry Joe back in there, of course, teammate to Cameron Steele. As we look down through the pack, Joe Masick was very fast. Bobby Coy, always tough, and the very young CJ Greaves out here playing with the big dogs in Pro Buggy. Mike Porter, J.C. Elrod round out row number 9, and we've got a bunch of players out here, and Jerry Welchel will start dead last in row 11. 22 competitors here. Chuck Cheek just ahead of him. Steve Sarabas, I mean, some pretty big name guys in the back of the pack here.
It's going to be a good race. Fast guys up front and in the rear. Here goes the start. Watching for that green flag. See who gets it. Looks like Cameron's got a good drive, half car length, going in the first turn with the lead.
They fan out 4 wide, everybody trying to stay clear. Looks like a pretty good job through turn number 1. We are off.
This is the time to set your pace. When you're in the lead, it's a little hard to set the pace. All you can do is push as hard as the car will go.
So Cameron Steele off to a great start here in Steve Menzies' car. You see the 999 just taking over third place. That's Rich Ronco, who started off on the pole. The 994, Cody Freeman, also in that battle right there for third place with Rich Ronco. Up there in second place right now is Doug Fortin, so he started off on the outside of the second row, got a pretty decent start as well.
Fortin was the winner from yesterday, so you're going to see some moves out of this guy. Definitely know he's going to want to get on the podium, top spot again.
I know you haven't really been inside of one of these to race one, but try to compare this to your Pro Light truck if you can.
These cars are a little wider, which means they're going to corner better. Our trucks are a little narrower, which means they want to bicycle. And when you go on the turns, throw them up on two wheels a lot. You have to be used to that. And these cars have a little wider wheelbase, but they're a little less power too.
They also have great suspension on them. You talked about the width. Of course, the suspension much lighter at 1,550 pounds, where you guys are up there in the 2,800 pound range.
Yeah, these cars have a little more travel, a little softer landings. The turning brakes definitely help, and it's a different style class with pretty close lap times. No matter what, you're still racing.
Bobby Pacoy up there doing a great job of the 973. Always a tough competitor. He's inside of that Makita-backed machine. Right behind him is Halliday. Halliday with, of course, the Green Army car, the 904. We saw him a round ago doing it pretty good. And then the 994 of Cody Freeman gets in trouble right there, going the wrong way, completely off the track.
You can see the mud. The rain was a little off and on. The weather's holding out. This track is perfect right now. The dirt's tacky. This is the way you want it. No dust. Tires are hooking up. It's good.
Cody Freeman gets back up on the track. Of course, a big name here has run Schnorr for the longest time. On board with your leader, Cameron Steele.
Look at those goggles. Look at the lenses right there. Clean. That's how you want it.
More importantly, look at those Nerf bars. They're pink. Rumor has it they match his underwear.
Those are cute. Right. Definitely cute.
Back to the Rockstar Energy Drink Sin City Showdown. This is the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series powered by Geico Power Sports. A local caution. That is not a full course caution. Larry Jobe right there making a move as he tries to get up into the top three. Finished fifth. Just one round to go. Bobby Pacoy there in front of you, the 973, and of course the Makita sponsorship on the side of that car. Looks like he is slowing down, actually.
Must have a problem with his car. He got it back going.
Kind of strange, huh? I wonder if that was the scenario of maybe the dual fuel pump or dual electronics inside there where he could flip a switch and get it going again.
As a driver, that's something you have to figure out. When your car starts dying and blurping, you have to look at your gauges and figure out, all right, what's wrong with this car right now?
Yeah, not much time to go with either. I mean, you want to do it as quickly as possible. And as you mentioned, I mean, it looks like he's got this thing going one more time, see if he can get it back up to speed. The Stronghold back machine driven by Chuck Cheek, who had to start in the back of the pack as he was leading yesterday, but then the car broke. He had fuel issues. Steve Serafis, the Pacifico sponsored machine, just back there behind him. The other yellow car, very tasty beverage, by the way. But, going back to Chuck Cheek, these guys had to start in the back because they had no qualifying. You mentioned rain before. They actually came out and started them as they finished in round number one, and Chuck Cheek had a rough day.
It's a tough spot to start from in the back. It means you got your work cut out for you, and you just have to charge and get it. Try to make your way to the front.
Serapis also looking to have a much better day than he did in round number one. Phil Bowman will go wide. Looks like that might open up the door for Serapis and the Pacifico sponsored machine.
Cameron's got a little gap, just cruising out front, setting a good pace, staying up in the loam, getting a drive down out of those turns.
Fortin in second place. Go a little deeper, the 907, that is Larry Jobe. Very, very talented driver as well. Really nice guy, too. He's about to deal with a lapper. What's going through your mind when you see that?
When you come up on the lappers, you just hope that they hold their line, stay out of the main line, and sometimes that's not what they want to do, and you kind of have to bump them out of the way.
Oh, you just kind of bump them, do you?
Yeah, it's a little Nerf bar action.
It's a little tune-up, like get your head in the game here. But you can also see he's battling right there behind him, the 995 of Randy Manier, and Manier hanging on to the back bumper of Jobe.
That is such an awesome turn. It's a pendulum. You're pitching your car from one side to the other, setting up for the finish line straight away.
And it's really the first part of that turn. If there's going to be a give-up point, I would think would be the first part, because you need that second part to be good to run onto that straightaway.
It's setting up. You're setting up wide and just trying to just miss that K-rail.
Another look there at Chuck Cheek. Chuck, who had those fuel issues, just one round to go, out here showing why he earned a championship just one season ago. The Stronghold team, just spectacular. Great guys underneath the tent over there, and a whole bunch of race cars. Oh, 2 cars off. Serapis and Halliday, both cars off into the infield there. Rob, what do you got?
Well, Ken, I don't know if we were busting chops on Cameron Steele around number 1 and that lit the fire or what, but he is consistently turning the laps about a second plus over the rest of the field. Actually, him and Forden right now, pretty consistent laps, but Steele is bad fast. He gains a lot of ground on the backside of this racetrack before that nice little bunny hop, this little smooth right-hander before the hard left-hander on the front straightaway. He looks really good right there, but I can't say anything bad. C. Steele's getting it done, guys.
So how about your brother, man? He's doing a good job.
Cameron's holding it down, leading at the halfway. 1 extra point, that's what's up.
There's your Rockstar Energy Drink top 5. Cameron Steele leads them all. Fort, Joe, Manier, and Chuck Cheek round out the top 5. Come on back. Quite a race there for the 916 of Cameron Steele here with the Rockstar Energy Drink Sin City Showdown. We're about to restart him. Can he hang on to the back half of this race and pick up his first win in the Pro Buggy? He's been on the podium a couple times. He's done a great job, and he's still looking for that win. Fortin right behind him. Very formidable competition. Won it, 1 round to go.
Well, fellas, let's talk about the battle up in front. Cameron Steele, he has been running consistently the fastest laps on the racetrack. Now, he got to a pretty good lead before that mandatory caution and is beginning to pull away from the field once again. Doug Fortin has been running about the same lap times the last couple laps before that mandatory caution. Both buggies are very fast, but it looks like on these original starts or the restarts, that's where Cameron Steele can pull away from the rest of the field. Kelly Snyder.
That's right, Rob. This is exactly what Cameron Steele had talked to me about earlier. He said he wanted to take the higher line, wanted to get out front. He's become more aggressive, and he's ready to bring home a win here. Back to you guys.
Great battle. There's Serapis, the 906 just ahead of him. You see Chuck Cheek, 2 very tough competitors. Chuck Cheek coming, and Serapis coming through this entire field. Right ahead of them is Manier. Then you go ahead of him, it's Larry Jobe, then Doug Fortin, and then our leader, Steele. So the top 2 guys have checked out a little bit. Again, they definitely have a good pace here, Brian.
Definitely setting the pace. The guys have made it all the way to the top 5 from the back of the pack. Cameron Steele's definitely setting the pace. Doug Fortin in tow. We're going to see what happens.
Good stuff. I mean, this is what the Pro Buggies bring. Some very, very talented drivers. And right there, Serapis underneath him looked like a pretty clean line, but I don't think the other driver realized he was there.
Yeah, they came together, and right there, that's going to kill a lot of time, something you really don't want to do.
Yeah, and these are really momentum-based machines. They don't have a whole lot of horsepower, so it takes a little while to get them wound up. Here's a battle for the lead. Doug Fortin has caught Steele.
Definitely pressuring Cameron Steele right now. I know Steele has been battling a little bit with the synchro tranny, you know, missing a little shifts here or there, so hopefully he can pull it together.
Yeah, and as you mentioned before, I mean, you have to be spot on. You give up anything here at all, especially in a momentum car, low horsepower, lightweight, you'll get caught in a hurry. Looks like he's got that gap back out on him right now. Pretty good job. We'll keep an eye on him and see if we can see where Fortin is catching up. Hugs the bottom right there. It's going to be very hard to get around him in this left-right stuff, right-left stuff, I should say, if you hug the bottom.
Looks like Fortin's holding a little tighter through the insides of the turns.
And sometimes it's a shorter way around, but it can pinch these low horsepower cars off. If you can let the car run a little bit, free it up, you can keep that rubber band wound up and carry a little more speed. Oh man, Fortin really pitching it in hard, and that's where Cameron's been running a little high. Looks like they're up there chasing that cushion. Oh, we got one on its lid. The 944 rolls it completely over there, and no doubt that will bring out a caution flag right there in that particular area. Joe Morgan going up, up, and over. Back up to the battle for the lead. Oh, little contact right there.
Letting him know he's there. It's a tough position to be in when you're leading because you can't always pick the fastest lines because you have to protect the inside, where Fortin's got a little bit of advantage because he can pick the fast line.
Boy, and that gave Cameron a lot of breathing room right there. Definitely took some of the pressure off here, at least for a little while. You know, they also deal with those tight turns with these turning brakes where they can actually stop the right rear, left rear individually. But if you're not careful with it, it'll suck all the momentum out of that car. And once again, that caution flag coming out there in that area where we saw Morgan flip over Chuck Cheek. Another look at him has not really advanced since he's gotten up there. Right behind him, Cody Freeman, who is battling for the win. A round to go, but look at Fortin. He has caught back up to Steele.
Ooh, you can hear Cameron miss a gear right there.
Oh, man.
Even worse, that one right there. Definitely grinding those gears in that synchro tranny.
And that looks like it might cost him a position. So he's struggling with that gearbox. You mentioned about that before. I mean, it sounds like a mix master now. All kind of metal down in there. But those two missed shifts opened up the door for Doug Fortin to take over the lead.
How frustrating. It's when you're into the race, you've been leading the whole thing, and your car just starts not agreeing with you when you're shifting. It's just so frustrating.
So Doug Fortin very happy about it, and no doubt Cameron Steele's thinking, man, I got to get him, and here comes Cam. Cam right back on the inside, takes a look. A beautiful move as he straightens out that area.
All or nothing, baby. He wants to win this one.
White flag out. It is go time. He needs to be perfect in the gearbox, and he's got to try to set him up.
This is where you separate between being a friend and being a racer, because right now it's all about winning, so do whatever it takes.
Doug Fortin got a good run off of that turn, way up there by the K-rail as they chase the cushion and a little bit of traction. Fortin almost completely off the track. Sounded good right there as Steele flying the Alpine Star fire suit and also the Monster Metal Militia helmet there, making it happen, but he wishes he was one step up.
This is a tough pill to swallow, watching the leader pull away, and you're just so frustrated. You're like, what can I do to catch this guy right now? And it's a tough position.
Yeah, after leading the entire race, I mean, the only lap he has not led has been this one and about half of the other one. But the only one that really counts is this one.
It's like Fortin bringing it around to the finish line.
In the throttle, too. Doug Fortin, how about that? Backs it up. Goes back-to-back wins in rounds 1 and 2. Hats off to Cameron Steele, though, up on the podium both rounds as well. Awesome start to this season for both of those drivers.
That was a great race. Cameron pulling it out on the podium, but props to Doug Fortin for laying it down.
You know, and I'm sure we'll see here throughout the results the number of drivers that really had a good effort coming out of yesterday that struggled. But that is your winner right now, the number 996 of Doug Fortin. Congratulations to him. Excellent job here in Las Vegas. The rest of the competitors rolling across the stripe here in a very, very tough pro buggy category. Doug Fortin sitting there, he can finally breathe a little bit, right?
It's a good spot to be in right there. Winner's circle.
Found Doug Fortin on top of the pile. Let's take a look at our E3 Spark Plugs race recap. Right off the get-go, it was Cameron Steele in the Steve Menzies' own pro buggy, and he did a great job. Chuck Cheek making a charge from the back of the pack after struggling in round number 1. And then we also had Halliday back there who pulled off the track early. On the restart, again, it would be Cameron Steele. This time, Doug Fortin bringing the heat. Cameron Steele struggled with the gearbox after a couple of missed gears. It was all Doug Fortin who collected the checkered flag. Here's your Rockstar Energy drink. Results here in Pro Buggy Unlimited.
Doug Fortin taking the win. My boy Cameron Steele laying it down for the militia, and his teammate Larry Jug doing it for Rusty.
Doug Fortin climbing out of the 996 after winning round number 1 here at Vegas. Round number 2, another win. Hey, great way to kick off 2010, but talk about that battle with Cameron Steele in the pass for the lead.
That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. I was just playing my game plan, just being safe and patient. I knew the race was long, and I knew I had the car to catch him when I needed to. So, you know, I followed him, watched his line, studied what he was doing, and then just waited till the right time and got by him. And we had a little bit of bump in there, but it was clean and it was fun. And BF Goodrich tires hooked up awesome, and the Adam Wick Honda motor was perfect. And so 2 for 2. And Fortin gearbox held up, and I beat that thing hard. And Fox Shocks, you know, first bump to last bump, they're perfect. So, and hey, I got to go into town tonight and play some cards because I'm feeling pretty lucky right now. Good time to be in Vegas.
He's absolutely right, Doug Fortin, guys. 2 for 2 in Pro Buggy.
Cameron Steele, what a battle you had going on out there. Second to last lap, Doug Fortin made the pass. What happened?
Well, it's 0 to 0 in just a couple corners, right? I mean, from possible winner chicken dinner to a guy who is the first loser is a bummer. What happened was, you know, Doug is a great race car driver. I have a lot of respect for him, but I came out here to beat him just like my teammate who finished third, anybody else who gets on the track with me. I just want to basically sock him in the face with the win, and wasn't able to do it. What happened, actually, I made one shift mistake. Doug got right up on me, and then he rubbed me one time real good, set me out a bit. And that's just it. Rubbing his racing, he got me, and hats off to him. I'm just bummed. Wanted to come out with the win, but 2 podiums on the weekend is pretty good. You know, I'm actually carrying a bunch of extra water weight too, you know, for the ladies out there thinking about it, because I've been hydrating for San Felipe Desert Race, which is next week. I'm gonna be racing a bike and a car, so I'm going down there tonight, overnight, to get there, driving all night. So I'm carrying an extra 8 pounds, and that was the difference maker, if I have to say so myself.
Well, congratulations on the second place finish.
Thanks. I want to thank the Big Red Machine, Menzie Motorsports. Steve, I love you, baby. Mwah!
All right, we'll take a look at the points here. The MagnaFlow exhaust products points after 2 rounds. Doug Fortin, followed by Cameron Steele with those pair of podiums. Cody Freeman also with a great start here into the season. Larry Jobe and Randy Manier. How about that? The Menzies team, 2 of them in the top 5 as we leave Las Vegas.